Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the breakfast show, Trading with SMARTRobie. Now, in this episode, we are almost at episode 179. I do believe many of you have followed us for all this, and we will thank you for being a loyal supporter. And I do hope that the SMARTRobie has been a great help to you. Of course, more on that on our further presentation here today. Now, last Friday, we did see the Dow Jones kicking up higher, and I do think that after talking to Dr. Gary, which we did have a session, one of our trading psychologists and another Wyckoff, great guru from United States in here, we talk about the market, how we are able to establish some sort of low at this level. But we will see further inflation rate which is coming up, and thank you for those of you who have signed up with our program. We really appreciate your business. And those of you, don't forget, this coming Thursday will be our CPE SIDC approved VSA trading course, which we'll be conducting on Thursday, where you will get that 10 points. So make sure you sign up if you require that 10 point for your professional qualification, maintaining in that. Let's get on to what we have for you this morning in our breakfast show here. All right. And let me just get back to my slide here. Right, in this morning breakfast show, we have this theme that I want to share with you. Is definitely bottom fishing. That's right. Now, usually every week we try to come up with a theme or a strategy so we can make use better of the SMARTRobie in here. Of course, some of the things we cover in here are basically at very basic level in here, but if you do have knowledge in here, it's also great that you can use some of this strategy. If not, you could continue to backtest, and do join and subscribe to our Trade VSA YouTube channel, which is totally free, and also a new service. I think some of you may have known, but I will talk about this new service, which is actually a free service that will help you to put you in the right frame of mind. Of course, what is bottom fishing? Now, bottom fishing is basically a strategy where we are trying to buy at the bottom of the market in here. Of course, many people define where is the bottom. How do you read the bottom in here? We have a very simple way of looking at the bottom in here by using some of our, of course, VSA analytics and our VSA plugin in here. And if you have not subscribed to it, please make sure you do subscribe to it and continue to support us for all your trading and investment needs, which we both cater both to the fundamental as well as technical. Very few people out there do what we do. Now, another term we always talk about in the bottom fishing, it's catching a falling knife. Now, what is a falling knife? I think many of you know, if you ever catch a falling knife, you are averaging lower, isn't it? Right? We've seen that happen in 2020. I think where the rubber glove price continued to fall, many people try to average it down and try to make a U-turn. And yet, today, the rubber glove is still pretty much stuck. And some of them, like Top Glove, are really trading below, almost at penny stock. Cannot imagine this stock wants to be the darling, just 2 years ago with the pandemic, and now with the market reopening, catching a falling knife will be a very, very good lesson to learn, because sometimes that market will continue and go up, and that's why we talk about will continue to resulting in more loss or damage. Now, that's why we always say a thing on buying when the green Pentagon. And for those feedback that I received from many of our members, those who have used green Pentagon, have helped them to alleviate major losses. And I do feel that this has been one of the great contribution that we have done over in here. If you like the kind of work that we've been doing over here, give us a support and give us a thumbs up in here. Now, no doubt the market is continue going under market volatility. We have seen also some of the so-called analysts or guru quoting in this week newspaper that the market will further go down, right, up going beyond the 1430. But I find that it's very unlikely. As many of you have seen, the KLCI has already turned green Pentagon. Let me just show you this chart here that you see on top of me here. If you just widen this a bit, right, and just pinch it up as I usually used to do, we have seen the green Pentagon. But no doubt the characteristic of it, we're still seeing that railway track of the shorter term and the medium term is still continuing to go down. And that's why we talk about the Robie FA collection. Now, those of you who don't know, FA stands for fundamental analysis, where we focus more on those companies that are strong, which I will talk about later on. Now, let's go on to our next thing in here. Of course, we are very proud of our Pentagon Guider, which is here, created by our company through our team in here to bring you this Pentagon Guider System in here, which is pretty much part and parcel of what we have used computerizing the volume spread analysis in here. All right, and using volume spread analysis, so far you have seen our Pentagon strategy. We are still holding on, doing much better. Only one trade. We are still looking to get into the market right now, and you can see we are still beating the KLCI pretty much by a wide margin in here, and that's something that we are quite proud of. Of course, higher returns are always expected from our members, but we must be realistic, especially in a bear market in here. How can you expect this market to be giving you positive returns? So I think that is something that we need to educate many of our public, including yourself. In bear market, if you could survive and not lose too much money, and when the market do rebound back, which they do, and through our SMARTRobie accessing US is available, Hong Kong, Singapore market, you will do much better. So the KLCI next resistance seen here is 1460. All right, 1460, and like I said before in here, let me just bring out the marker. So no doubt, let me just bring out the pen. Right now you can see we have this 2 line marker here. That's going to be good. These two continue to parallel down, and we have this support here that you see. Let me just switch to a wider chart here. Okay, maybe just switch to a wider chart. Yep, this one in here, and you can see we have a nice support at this level in here. So that will be the I believe it's a 1430 level in here, right? At this point, I don't see likelihood of a breach unless we see Dow Jones fall further. But remember, last Friday we saw the spring really kicks into place, because if you look to the left hand side of the chart, what is that telling you? That telling you strengths are coming in there, right? So strengths are coming in because we do see some volume in here, where we say extreme volume on the left hand side, and that market seems to be gone. And that's really one of the big benefits using volume spread analysis in here, where you use this to your benefit to see the market is ready to move up. Is it ready to move up higher? Definitely not, but we are on this side of it. The last round where we had this 31st May, this was a distribution chart in here, where foreign fund come in and buy, and then the market continued to fall. Of course, the red Pentagon was the alert system, just like we have it here. Now we have the green Pentagon in here, and if the market were to revert back, although analysts are thinking about going year end, is going to break back up above the at least 1500 level. That's a level we want to be seeing this market. But so far, green Pentagon is holding on. So with it, okay, now next slide is going to be focusing on the bottom fishing strategy. Now, what we talk about the bottom fishing strategy. So from here onwards, first of all, we want to see green Pentagon, all right? And then we want to look at the market stages. Okay, if you look from the market stages here, which is very important, this is an extension to SMARTRobie charting. For those of you who want further details on it in here, just watch to the end in here. But many of you may have seen this before. Our plugin, which we are offering our 10-day free trial. So check it out in here. If you have not, we did talk about this last Friday. And if you have not used our plugin and make good use of our 10-day free trial, you're missing a lot of the big picture in here. So all in said, we are trying to form, this is a future chart, FKLI future chart. We are looking for a double bottom to form first, and no doubt you have seen here, right, the market stages. So the market is really bottoming, and this thick red line is really trading below the 200-day moving average. So we are waiting for a W right now. So we have the first leg is already been formed. Okay, first leg is already been formed. As you can see from our chart here, we are waiting for the second leg, and after the second leg, we are looking for the market stages. So for beginner, I think this is something very easy to follow, and here we continue to update to you how this market formation is likely to be, and there is going to be a lot of retests also to the low. All right, So take note of it in here. So if you look back to the Robie Trade FA collection last episode that we did on 27th of June, and now bear in mind, previously the market was in red Pentagon, and that's why we are talking about the kind of stocks that is strong in fundamentals, and that is something I will talk about this coming Thursday. So make sure you join me, the VSA CPE course, where I'll talk about the fundamental side of the company, where you see these three very strong roots, right? Very strong roots where the fundamental is good, and that's why it is able to withhold through the weather, the storm, and able to still stand healthy. And that's what we always talk about in here. When you want to do bottom fishing, you're looking for good company that's beaten down in here. But when the market return back, and it always does, I've been in this market for the last 20 years, I've seen market going up. That's why for those of you, especially if you are a beginner, you want to look for company that has strong roots. Like here, let me just see it here, and able to grow very upright, healthy. When the roots is healthy, that's where when the market return back, it's going to able to give you the good returns. Whether our research have shown company with good fundamentals will tend to do well. And also not to forget, if you buy during the market bottoming in here, you stand to collect a dividend. Now these are some of the previous episodes. If you have not seen some of our previous episodes, make sure you check it out on our previous episode in our either in our SMARTRobie, in our Trade VSA YouTube website or the FA. Perak Transit dividend 4.5%, PE of 9.4. Westport dividend yield of 5% with a PE of 16 times. Wellcore with a dividend yield of 5%. Pays better than the banks, I can tell you all this, with a PE of 16.4. So if you look on the one of the new, yes, now you all like freebies, isn't it? Some of you may already is our existing daily newsletter. Now in the daily newsletter, we actually added another FA trade idea. Now this was emailed out on the 27th of June. You'll notice very similar to what we cover in our breakfast show here. So I've talked about in here P-Trans and Wellcore. All right, so those were the rated 4 out of 8 and 6 out of 8. Okay, so if you want to subscribe to this free newsletter, that's a QR code. Subscribe to it in here, and we will always send this out on a very daily basis. All right, so these are some of the FA stocks we have. And if you look from the episode 176, episode 176 on the 27th of June in here, episode 176, this was when the first market spotted it. That's right. That was on the 13th of May. We first started about Perak Transit was on 13th of May at 73.5 cents. The market did came off, but didn't hit the ATR stop loss. So it means you're still retaining this stock inside here, and you collect a 5%. And then on episode 176, which is 27th of June, almost 2 weeks later. So we spotted this almost about a month ago, and right now the market is heading higher despite what we've seen the market is. So if you look back, remember the breakdown, I've talked about the breakdown on lower volume, and of course finally the volume came in, right? You can go back to this slide that we see here, up at this point the 73 cents here. This is where we were, right? You notice, right? We got two tests, right? And the test, it's a very, very important. When anytime you see two tests, that's the one is likely to break higher. All right, so two tests, finally the volume, remember I talked about the diminishing volume in here, right? And then the volume came, kaboom, the market now has gone more than 10%. So if you look back from this wasn't a bottom fishing trade. This was a stage 2 shares right now on the episode 179, where we first start talk about Perak Transit was episode 176. All right, so it has a nice railway track. Sectors are strong, as I said before, in the transport in here. Robie rating, of course, if you go back, we know this Robie rating, right? If you check this again, switching to a wider chart here. So let's talk about Perak Transit. Hit that one. Okay, we just wait for it to come back. And click on stock fundamentals, and you can see it is rated 4 out of 8. Okay, rated 4 out of 8 with ROE of 9% with a PE of 10 and a dividend yield of 4.5%. So 4.5%, not bad, huh? You can still collect it and stand to go higher. Of course, take note, as the market move higher, the dividend yield tend to drop a bit. So make sure you want to get it a bit earlier, right? Those of you who have followed this episode. So this is where we are right now. And again, another stock that we talked about previously was Westport. I think if you have followed that on episode 177, 178, you could see Westport actually hit up to 362. Then you have this sideways movement in here. All right, the sideways movement in here. Market stages hasn't turned up at 176, right? And this time it needs volume. It did break up finally on a green one in here, but on the pretense of a lot of sellers as they broke through. The market also had a sell-off on that day, July. You can see the market, but it's coming back again, right? So this does look like a bottom fishing strategy where you're buying below the 200-day moving average, okay? But you notice this is the 50-day resistance. The 50-day was a strong resistance because the market has rebounded 10%. Anytime when the market rebound 10% in here, all right, that amount you'll see this market will continue to fall. Of course, market now retest back in here. May look like we have reached the bottom. So meanwhile, looking for good setup, as I said before, this good setup will enable you to collect a 5% dividend. And this is one of those things. Next one is Wellcall. Remember, we talked about the Wellcall, which actually sent out on the email sent out. So check out your email on the 27th of June. You should receive that one. It again supported by 200 moving average below the medium term. 50 MA is still the resistance in here. Here you can see that's why we talk about extending your SMARTRobie charting to the VSA plugin. I think that's a normal progression in here. If you want more information, you can see this is a 200-day moving average. Market well supported in here. Turn green Pentagon in here. Of course, breaking above the 119, the 120 level, right? And able to collect a 6% dividend. That will be also good. All right. So check out the SMARTRobie feature in here. If you have not, right, go through it. And this week, all right, let's take a look at this week what we have for you. We got Gamuda, Hata, Aeon, RC Cap, all right, and there's none this morning in here. Market is still turning a bit bearish in. Now, if you have any stocks you want me to look at and explain in terms of bottom fishing here, let us know. And also, this coming Wednesday, I'll be featuring a new opportunity where you can do bottom fishing using the VSA 360. And also some other strategies. So make sure you join me on Wednesday night. Now, if you look back at the Robie trade FA idea, bear in mind the KLCI right now is green Pentagon. What are the hot sectors right now? Okay, so let's take a look. What are the hot sectors? Click on hot sectors. And we have construction, telemedia, consumer, REITs, and finance. All right, so that's why RCA Capital is on the finance side. Consumer is also Aeon Credit, right? Now, Hata and Top Glove did turn green Pentagon, so that's why you see it in here, but it is not some of the hot sectors, so you still need to wait for the right setup. And if you look at it, just like I'm going to share with you in here, this is RCE Cap. All right, if you look from RCE Cap, just turn green Pentagon, and if you look at from the extension of our the VSA plugin, RCE Cap, right, you can see RCE Cap is actually trading below the 200 moving average. Okay, not one of the best bottom fishing method in here. As I said before, you want it to go some more lower. All right, but having said that, I do think this 170 will be its resistance. All right, it's gonna find it very difficult to tough to break it back in here, and I do think a lot of people will be taking profit from here until you see some sort of volume coming in here. FA is certainly good, so let's take a look at the FA RCE Cap. Okay, let's look at the FA here, and you can see FA is ROE of 15%, dividend yield of 2%, and PE of 9, so it's giving out 7 out of 8. Okay, there is undervalue in the target price, PE of 10 times. Is 189, so 190 is the, according to the fundamentals in here, which is actually at about okay, let's bring out the 190, which is up here, which is the old high. You can see that was the old high, right? But I think 170 is the first thing you need to break above first, because usually the 200 moving average, it has been trending up above 200 moving average for a long time. You can see that way back to 2020, and this is the first time it actually dipped below that, right? And it's still making money. You can see, right? Making money. Of course, you can check the fundamentals using the VSA 360 under the stock analysis to see more about it. But it does tells you 190 is the overall, maximum kind of a target price in here. But 160, right? 170 is a technical level in here. All right. If you have any stocks that you want me to look at, feel free to pencil those in. I'm happy to examine them. All right. Next, we have here is the Aeon. Okay, now you can see Aeon also turned green Pentagon. All right, Aeon already turned green Pentagon too. So that will be interesting to see on the wider chart here. So let's take a look at Aeon. So Aeon is hit through again, very similar, has been the positive territory all this while. All right, same with RC Capital, first time swap in here, and we can check out Aeon Credit. Okay, fundamentals. Stock fundamental Aeon Credit is 7 out of 8 or so. Okay, ROE of 18 times with a dividend of yield, and if the target price, right, based on a PE of 10.5 times, we are talking about 15 ringgit, so which is this level in here, right? 15 ringgit this level, so that will be the first resistance, 15 ringgit around here. All right, so that means it can break up to the 200-day moving average, then it will have some sort of resistance. And of course, if the entire KLCI resume back uptrend, then we will probably see this in here. Right now, the hot sectors consumer is at number 3 in here. And last but not least is the rubber glove stock. We're going to show you the example of Top Glove here. Early on, we have seen Top Glove may not be ready yet because it's still going through lot. Shorter term, you can trade intraday. I think that's fine. But the longer term, it is still pretty much in a downtrend. You can see bottom fishing half partially. They don't have the kind of setup that I like. You can see, right? Still trading below the 200-day moving average. One of the biggest in here, you can see Top Glove forming, not even turning. Any time when they turn back up to the market stages, that will be the time that I'll be interested. So right now, I'm just going to put it aside and look at others. So let's take a look at the summary here. So for start, you can see the KLCI bottom fishing is a low risk, good reward while waiting for the market to turn higher. Now stick to the Robie FA list to collect dividend while waiting for a longer term. Wait for the green Pentagon and market stages to turn up, right? And remember, due to the bearish market sentiment, some of these may continue to break lower. If it does break lower, you may need to cut loss, right, to avoid any more losses in here. Overall, focus on the Robie FA and stock collection list in here. All right, now just an update for our Super Trader 20 days challenge in here. We have some partial reports. Now the first week, I did talk about it in last Friday. We have some of the winner in here, 5% in 1 week. Isn't that great, right? Just imagine able to do this. Now, these people trade a lot of more shorter terms, unlike for the beginners today's session in here. So if you are wanted to learn more to try to make the double-digit return in weeks or even in a month, this is something that you want to join our VSA plugin in here. So the latest update that we have based to 1st of July, we ended in here. We got congratulations to our 2 challenger. They earned some prizes in here worth 300 ringgit. For them in here, they're able to achieve a 10% return within 2 weeks. Okay, that was Eric and also Maven continue in here. But respectively, the rest of the people, remember, we are in the downside market in here, were able to continue. Some are unchanged because maybe the market was bad, they didn't trade any. But for the others, those who did pretty well, congratulations. And just imagine double-digit return in 2 weeks. Who said you can't make money? You just need to have the right tools and the right mentoring, and that's through our program in here. So don't wait. For those of you who want to know more, this is the evidence as well as a testimonial that our program works through our 20-day member challenge in here. And of course, you want to learn more, this coming Thursday to get your 10-point CPE will be our VSA course, which is we still have some seats in here. Do contact our support line in here for more information if you're interested to get your 10-point CPE point. And also don't forget our free newsletter, which we talk about, and we are sending out some of the Robie FA lists that you're able to follow some news, some SMARTRobie in here. So check it out. This is the QR code and register for the free newsletters. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all our video tutorial that we archive in here. And of course, when you're ready, right, subscribe to our VSA 360 plugin for further increasing your knowledge in here, which has given a lot of good review by our testimonial and people using. All right, right now we're going to go on to the stock chart. Any stock chart you want me to look at, feel free to pencil those in there. I'll be happy to look at them. All right. If there is none, thank you again. And don't forget to subscribe to our Telegram chat room in here for all stock information in here. And I'll see you on Wednesday for our live FB on more on bottom fishing in there. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this video in your time. And I do hope you all enjoy and understand a little bit about bottom fishing and how to receive that. And many resources are available from Trade VSA to you to help you to become a better trader and to explore new opportunity if you have not. Now, if you have not invested time into it, check out some of our products which were proven and given a lot of great feedback from our members as well as the public. Thank you again. Bye-bye.